We begin our service together. We're going to light our candle to the memory, the loving, to the living, to all that Esther was. We're going to invite both Barb and Bonnie now to come and light this candle for us. Reading from the Hebrew Scriptures, Ecclesiastes chapter 3. There's an opportune time to do things. A right time for everything on earth. A right time for birth, and another for death. A right time to plant, and another to reap. A right time to kill, another to heal. A right time to destroy, another to construct. A right time to cry, and another to laugh. A right time to lament and another to cheer. A right time to make love and another time to abstain. A right time to embrace and another to part. A right time to search and another to count your losses. A right time to hold on and another to let go. A right time to rip out, another time to mend. A right time to shut up and another to speak up. A right time to love and another to hate. A right time to wage war and another to make peace. But in the end, does it really make a difference what anyone does? I've had a good look at what God has given us to do. Busy work mostly. True, God made everything beautiful in itself and in its time. But He left us in the dark so we can never know what God is up to, whether He's coming or going. I decided there's nothing better than to go ahead and have a good time. Get the most out of what we can out of this life. Then let's eat, drink, and make the most of your job. It is God's gift. I've also concluded that whatever God does, that's the way it's going to be always. No additions, no subtraction. God's done it, and that's it. So we'll quit asking questions and simply worship in holy fear. We're now going to have a song, Hallelujah by Judy Lang.
There was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord. You don't really care for music, do you? Well, it goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, the major lift, the baffled king composing hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Well, your faith was strong, but you needed proof. You saw her bathing on the roof, her beauty in the moonlight overthrew you. Well, she tied you to her kitchen chair. She broke your throne and cut your hair, and from your lips she drew hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. not someone who's seen the light to cold and broken. Hallelujah, hallelujah,
We're going to invite Kevin now to come and share a few thoughts concerning Esther's life.
Good morning. It's nice to see everybody here. I know Aunt Esther, but really appreciate that. Tracy, stop crying. About a month ago, we were sitting in Blossom for breakfast, and we were talking about this day. And all the girls around the table were very emotional about Aunt Esther, including me. And we decided to talk about who should say something about Aunt Esther. And of course, Mom would say, Kevin, you know, you probably would be the right person. She liked you a lot. And it's a real privilege. Now, I, first of all, met Aunt Esther in Formal Lake Road, where Mom and Dad built a beautiful home on the lake. And that was the hub of activity, and everybody came there. There were horseshoe games, where I beat Uncle Romeo quite handily. There were playing guitar. Jeff and I were with Laughing Leo, and all the relatives were there, Uncle Earl and Hilda, Uncle Lawrence. And it was the place to be. Tracy, when you go to an event and you meet somebody for the first time, she'd be sitting in the car, worrying about me saying something. And she has a right to do that. And at this time she said, you know, you're going to meet Aunt Esther for the first time. So I said, okay. And she told me a little bit of her background and where she came from. And she didn't say too much. She said, you'll like her. Here's some of my observations of Aunt Esther. She's an entrepreneur. She did things her way, for sure. And she was well-rounded, easy person to speak to. Someone who always wanted other people to enjoy themselves. She had a lot of fun. She never did anything in half measures. She spent time with us at the cottage. Taught our kids to fish. She loved to fish. And she did everything right. She was dead honest. You knew where you stood with Aunt Esther. She could swear with the best of them. She could drink with the best of them. And she had a heck of a lot of fun in her life, that's for sure. You know, people these days, you know, find themselves looking for the right thing to say and doing the right thing and being respectful of others. And Esther understood that. She was the person she was. She was important to us and our family. She spent time with us at the cottage. As I said, she taught the kids to fish. Kieran caught his first fish. Lauren spent the day with Uncle Lawrence and Aunt Esther on the boat. And she was a remarkable person. You know, a lot of people have regrets. You look back and you say you could do things certain ways, one way better, one way worse. But I can tell you I didn't regret any time spending with Aunt Esther. So don't you wish you could have one more moment with her? Thank you.
I got the easier task today than Kevin, because I get to read a letter from a good friend, Ivy Wolf, who really expressed how she felt about Aunt Esther. And you know, when Mom first asked me to do it, I was thinking about it from my perspective, how special she was. You know, and how. So Kevin's tapping. How she bought my first bike, which I was so proud of. How she was swimming to the island in front of her cottage. But what's more important is how special she was to the entire group, everybody. And this letter really reflects that. And it starts with how the letter came a little late. And it came late not because Ivy's thoughts were not with us, but because they were constantly with us as she gathered up all the stuff, the pictures, the cards, the other belongings. It reminded all of you every day. Her smile was surrounded. I'm starting to get older too, I need a little closer. Her smile was surrounded by all of the cards and pictures you've sent. The quilt, the phone messages, all reminded her how much she mattered, how much she was loved and cherished by all of you. In fact, just moments before she died, she was learning to use her new phone so she could stay in touch with everybody. So, Ivy was left with 42 years of memories dating back to when she was just 17, and her dear family and friends have known her much longer than Ivy had. But at this point in time, she cannot imagine her life without Aunt Esther. Esther, I know, and she knows that she's not alone in feeling this way. Esther was influenced in her life in so many ways. Her stories of nursing at the OH with the Musi sisters and Rita Coolbear at a time when there were few medications and treatments for the mentally ill touched Ivy's heart and inspired Ivy's decisions to become a mental health nurse for support for herself. To work in that environment showed how much Esther truly cared about people and was a brave, kind, and compassionate soul. Es had a passion for learning. She loved to build and fix things and always surrounded herself with incredibly talented and highly skilled mentors, beginning with the many people in her own family. Even her mother, Grace, was often seen in floral patterned dress, black dress and shoes, with a hammer or a wrench in her hand as she was fixing something. I remember back when Esther had coffee time, she would often work late at night in the garage, helping Al the mechanic while learning at the same time. When she moved out west, she worked with Nori, the plumber, for a few years. It just seemed so fitting that she ended up being the main go-to person for a very reputable property management company in Victoria until she retired. Esther had a passion for fishing and traveling and had many, many opportunities to do both. I know when she was young, she took a trip to Hawaii, and after she moved out west, she bought a motorhome and spent many weeks camping and fishing with her friends. She even drove her motorhome to the Yukon by herself and did a little fishing and gold panning with Nori on his claim. A few years later, when she went to China with Denise and Robbie, Essie was a very proud, independent, and thoughtful woman. Even up to the very end of her life, she graciously refused any offer of help from her family or friends, not wanting to put anyone out in any way. She died as she lived, in command of her own affairs, much like the poem Invictus by William Ernest Henley. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. S was beyond compare the life penny gathering, and I have no doubt that she will be with you, all of you, in spirit during the celebration of her life, and you are hosting in her honor on August 2nd. It was an honor and a privilege to be considered one of her many friends. Sincerely, Ivy Wolf.
Yes. Okay, go ahead. No, we're going to open the floor up now. So just if anybody, either you can come forward and speak, or you can stand where you are.
Good morning. I didn't get to know my Aunt Esther very well when I was a young girl. However, for some reason, I knew she was a go-to person when anybody needed help. I remember riding up on my dad's motorbike to Aunt Esther's. To talk when I was struggling with teen issues. She listened to me and finally said, "Honey, you don't have a problem, you're just gay." Then her next words, her most memorable words to me, were, "Barbie, you will never be able to please anyone in your life if you are not true to yourself." Not long after, I realized I had a lot in common with my aunt. Sporting events, hobbies, preference for women, and wine. I was very fortunate to maintain contact and reconnect with my aunt in my adult life. When we got together, we would talk a lot about family and how funny life is. She would tell me about the stories, all of her siblings and her mom, good and not so good, and in the end said I love them despite their quirks. On one occasion, she said, "Those bastards hate it when we drink wine, eh, Barbie? Hee hee hee." And I said, "Yes, they do." Then she said, "What is that shit you're drinking?" And I said, "The same shit as you, just a different color." Annie Esther had a great laugh and always had an open door in North Bay or BC. 6 years ago, Bonnie, Lou, and I were very fortunate to be able to go. We made it to Sook, where we went salmon fishing at 5 a.m. in the morning. Even though Denise warned Annie Esther that she would be seasick, she responded, "If I want to go fishing with the girls, I'll go fishing with the girls." Thankfully, we caught our limit in 45 minutes because Annie Esther was really sick. She was green. She rebounded quickly, though, like the Roys do, and managed to smile at Denise when we got back to the house. After a nap, got up later that day, talked excitedly about her adventure with the girls to Denise and Jim, while feasting on salmon, Dungeness crab, and wine. Open, stubborn, honest, sincere, compassionate, real, true to herself, Annie Esther. I will miss our phone calls by the fire, but continue to have fires and look at the stars, and see you alongside Gracie, Peggy, and Aunt Janice. Your last request to me was to break open a bottle of wine and celebrate life. And of course, have a drink for you every once in a while. Cheers and thank you for being there for me, Annie Esther. I love you, buddy, buddy.
Now, don't be the person who after the service tells me this really good story, okay? There's always somebody. I know you feel like you're a deer caught in the headlight, but one day use this opportunity to celebrate Esther's life. Yep, thank you.
Hi. harder than I thought.
Need some help.
It's okay to do it.
I'll come on board, yeah. No one's going to complain.
One of the stories that I met through Esther, I was 12 playing ball with them, the Wrights brothers. And I was just a little greenhorn. And Esther was one of a few that took me under her wing to look after me. And through the years, I got to meet family and all the children that are here that were in diapers. Just to let you know, I haven't seen you since, but one of the events that I had with Esther and Earl
Me too.
and Jan Kerr and your mother was when Esther and you wanted to lift the cottage. And little opening, but even less opening at the far end. So we dug, and we dug. And then Jan couldn't get in, because she was a taller, bigger person, so Esther and Earl got in. Jan and I did the cement, hauling the bricks. These two under there having a good old time, waiting for us. But anyways, that was one of the big stories, that we put a foundation in the back of her camp.
Didn't tell them about the series yet.
No,
That's the time.
no, that's somebody else's story.
Oh, I'm going to leave you now.
The next one that I can remember, other than broomball, we played a lot of sports. We did a lot of silly things. Okay, but boy, did we have fun. New Liskard, we're in a hour or 2 hours into the final game, and it's the first goal, no matter what. And Esther and I were on defense. And I'll tell you, we were exhausted. And Esther would come to the stands. Well, Jude, what do you think? Do we just let the damn ball go in on the net? Okay, we'll do that. So, ball comes to us. We have 3 goalies. Okay? We don't want to give that up, but we're exhausted. Another one that deals with Ivy, Esther, and one of her 1-ton, 2-ton catering vehicles. We decided that we're going to go trout fishing, but we're going to go towards Temiskaming, and we're going to just pick side roads. We were having fun until we came around a corner. We got a little steep, but we couldn't see what was down at the bottom until we made it down bottom, and it was a little creek, but wide enough that we couldn't get across. So we had to back the big box sucker up, okay? Esther driving, Ivy's outside, telling Esther, and I'm, doors open, saying, okay, my left is your right. Okay, right, left. And we basically, for about, I'm going to say 100 yards, we had to back that sucker up. And we had the ropes, we did some pulleys, but you know what? We burned all the tires on that sucker, but we had a ball. Plus, we always had the little refreshments just to sit down. We won't do that one again. We'll send somebody down the hill next time. So that was another one of the episodes that we had. The one that I can recall more closely, October, very cold, Ivy, Esther, got the fire going. They're looking at the float. It's still out in the lake. How are they going to pull that sucker in? So Esther had an idea. Juju, come on, we're going to go and pull this in. I had the Wright brothers jacket down to my knees, up to here. We're freezing. Juju, you can jump from the dock to there. Ivy and I don't know how to do that one. And we'll pull you in. So that was a really stupid move on mine, but I said, okay, but don't pull me out too hard. Oh, no. Ready?
The only thing that moved was me, and I was reading to the lake. I'll tell you, that was the coldest friggin' afternoon until I could get warmed up and dried it. But all that's going, oh, Juju, that was fun. Let's do it again. I said, I don't think so. I'm wet. They just go and hook it up, and we can all from the deck. Anyways, those are a few little stories that we had. I could say more, but we could get into trouble still, so we'll keep that one under our belt at the Chinese place. Do you remember that, Helen? Okay. After broom, no, it was the summertime, no, broom ball. Broom ball. We go to the Chinese place on Lakeshore Drive. Anybody recall the name of it? Golden Dragon, yes. And we weren't there to eat. We needed refreshments, so there was a little tiny place that had a few chairs in between the two big halls. So we got served. Half an hour later, we're still looking for somebody. We'd go in, they'd come, they would serve us. Well, after a while, we said, hell, we can serve ourselves. Right, Jen? I don't know if you were there, but, oh yeah, you're a little bit too young. So we started, oh, a draft, all right. So the guy would come in, and you need more? Oh, no, we're doing good. I think we fed off that draft machine for quite a long time. Then we decided those chairs were comfortable. The wicker chairs, they're beautiful, nice and big, round arms. Yeah, they were comfortable. So Helen goes out to the car, Helen and Esther. They pull chips, chocolate bars, whatever it is. We're having a really good party on our own. Then we decide that we're leaving. But we like these chairs. Right? Do you remember that, Helen? No. Anyways, we had two of them, but we couldn't get them through the friggin' door. So we said, oh, piss on it, as Esther would say. Ah, piss on it. We'll go home and have our own seat and a few more drinks. That was another one of our great events. With Esther, it didn't matter whether it was 40 below. Didn't matter whether it was carnival. Do you remember the carnival? Out there behind what they had, Pinewood Park? Yeah. Esther and I were going to be serving the truck, right? We got a couple of trucks. Helen comes and goes, hey, you two, I signed you up for this and this and this and this. Who's minding the store like we're here? Oh, no. We'll help. Little culprits over there. So here comes Helen. Hurry up, you guys, it's log sawing contest. I looked at Esther, I said, I never friggin' used one of those big in my life. So she said, Juju, let's go do it. So they took over that, we went. They put us up. First thing you know, she looks at me, she said, Juju, you gotta go on the other side. I said, no, you gotta go on the other side. This is comfortable for me. She said, no, Juju, you can't both be on it. Go! It's in 10 seconds, we cut that piece of wood. And we won. And we beat the guys. We had to beat a piece of wood. There was quite a few events. To end that night, I think it was about 2 o'clock in the morning, we met a bunch of women from Pembroke, and they were at the Empire Hotel. So, Juju, Ivy, Esther, we're going to the Empire Hotel. Okay, gotta find the friggin' vehicle now, because we can't, it's like pitch dark, and there's no lights on. So we took a while to get through the snow, but we made it there. But I did the detour. I said, okay, girls, I drove into my apartment and went, yeah. You cannot ever say you didn't have fun with Esther. And when one of the 4 times I went out to see Esther and a few other people, I was just there in 2013, and I had just gotten married, and that was my honeymoon. But I wanted to see Esther, so we got together and we did some reminiscing. And her answer to me was, well, Juju, what the hell are you going to do about it? We just have to live. So we played tag with the phone. And we let each other go. But she's never gone. Thanks, very good.
Good job, Gary.
Oh, how do you follow that, right? Anyone else? I don't want to cut it short. You notice I don't wear a watch. I told you that. I'm on a different time than anybody else. It's great when we get together like this, celebrate, tell stories. Anyone else?
Yeah, I got a few things to
Go ahead.
I don't know if anybody remembers this, but I bought a new truck at one time, 1952, I think.
I thought I was 2 years old.
Slapped your name all over the doors.
That wasn't your pink one, was it?
I think this was blue or green. But anyway, Esther was building her cottage, I think, and she always borrowed my vehicle. So she borrowed my truck, and the next day I heard that my truck was at some lumber yard somewhere at night. Somebody was building a house, and there was lumber all over the place. So I guess he took some home with my name on it. I thought that was quite all right. There's more stories too.
They do.
Oh, man. That's great. Oh, boy. So go and run free, the author is unknown. So go and run free with the angels. Dance around the golden clouds. For the Lord has chosen you to be with him, and we should feel nothing but proud. Although he has taken you from us, and our pain a lifetime will last, your memory will never escape us, but make us glad for the time we did have. Your face will always be hidden deep inside our hearts. Each precious moment you gave us shall never, never depart. So go and run with the angels as they sing so tenderly, and please be sure to tell them to take good care of you for me. The first thing that I want to do in my homily today is give you the date. Well, first of all, how many of you can, and I'm in a good crowd, so there's some of the things I'm going to say will work. How many of you can remember the telegram, the newspaper? Yeah, okay, a few of you. I delivered that paper. How many of you know the name of that paper today? It's now called The Sun. It was the telegram back, and in 1966, there was a woman in North Bay who was raising hell about discrimination. How men were being paid more than women in the workplace. And you can read about it. I thought I'd start with that. I don't usually tell my age. I was 12 years old. Started delivering the telegram when I was 10. And that in itself spoke to me volumes, because 1966 was not good times in our culture, in our world. It was difficult times. It was difficult especially for women who were in the workplace, and there was discrimination. And isn't it interesting that this individual known as Esther, your sister, your aunt, your friend, this vibrant, strong personality, influence was to forever change in our province and in our country how women were going to be paid. It's all there. You can read it. She was part of all of that. And so I would like to suggest to you today that when someone like Esther drops into our world, this is not the effect of a rock being thrown into a body of water, and it's a pebble effect. Can I suggest that she was literally a tsunami? I love some of the language of her day. You know, everybody talks about this stubborn and strong-willed individual. She was all of that, wasn't she? Filled, though, with love and joy and living life with everything that she possibly could. And so can I suggest to you today, and now I'm dating myself again, for those of you that can remember when we used to have to study Latin in school. I didn't do very good in school to begin with. Studying Latin was even worse. But I did hang on to one little phrase that I want to give you today. Carpe diem. Translated, seize the day. Esther, I would suggest to you, as we've heard today and as I met with the family, and thank you for opening your home. It was incredible just to sit there and be with her sisters and some of the husbands. Esther, I would suggest to you, was a person who seized every day, every moment, with every breath that she had, and she lived it to its fullest. If we are to honor this woman today, if we're going to celebrate her life, I would suggest the best way we do that is how we leave this place today. It still sucks, okay? My number one rule I tell families, it sucks. There's nothing good about these times. We weep, we mourn, we cry, we hurt. It's painful. I'm not sure who said to me, they said, boy, she looks so young. And then someone said, we all did. Yeah, it hurts. It's painful. But if we are going to celebrate her life today, I challenge you as you leave this place today to seize the day, this day, and every day, and live it as Esther did. Full of life, full of laughter, full of love. And in so doing, as Esther did, she impacted their lives, and they were changed. Her world was changed. You too can do the exact same thing, and we will honor her by the way we live today. Now again, for those of you that were around in 1960, so some of you were there because you knew about the telegram. There were 4 little boys coming out of England. And they made some music, and you young people have no idea what I'm talking about, okay? It was going to be called rock and roll, okay? You have no idea, okay? I get it. But they came and they wrote a song. The song was entitled What the World Needs Now Is? Oh, some of you were around. Love, sweet love. And can I suggest to you that if in 1960 that our world needed love, how desperately we need it today. Love for each other, but love that is respectful. Esther was, as we've heard today, an individual who was respectful of all. And can I challenge you today that as we celebrate this life, not only to embrace love, love first of oneself, as someone else shared, taught us, love you first. That's the most important thing. And then secondly, filled with that love, love others. So today, take someone's hand, make that phone call. What makes this today especially difficult, and I shared this with the sisters, is that when our loved ones are a long ways away, and I know it's only 4,000 miles, but it's still a long ways. It's difficult when we lose a loved one that's a long ways away like that. And so today I want to remind those of you on the listening end, who have 2 ears and 1 mouth, please, I've already warned this family, they're going to hear some really stupid things. I have my top 10 list. Right, Mrs. Murphy? You heard them too, didn't you? Yeah. Dumb things get said at times like this. Please, please, don't have Helen call me and say, oh, David, I heard another stupid one. Please don't be that person. Listen twice as much as you speak. This family will need your support. Not just today, not just tomorrow, but in the weeks and the months as they unfold. Please be one of those people. And together, let us celebrate this amazing life of this amazing woman. A reading from the Hebrew Scripture, Psalm 23. We're going to invite Shirley to come and to read that for us.
Before I do my reading, I'd like to tell all of you that the last time I spoke to Auntie Esther, the last thing she said to me is tell everyone that I love you. And now I'm going to do a version of Psalm 23 from the Everyday Songs by James Taylor. God has walked with me, I could ask nothing more. God has given me green meadows to lie in, clear streams to be beside, and trodden paths to explore. When I thought the world rested on my shoulders, God put things into perspective. When I lashed out at an unfair world, God calmed me down. When I drifted into harmful ways, God straightened me out. God was with me all the way. I do not know what lies ahead, but I am not afraid. I know you will be with me. Even in death, I will not despair. You will comfort and support me. Though my eye dims and my mind dulls, you will continue to care for me. Your touch will soothe the tension in my fingers. My fears will fade away. In life, in death, and life beyond death, God is with me. All through life, I have found goodness in people. When life ends, I expect to be gathered into the ultimate goodness of God. Thanks be to God.
This next part of our service is the most difficult part of the service because it's the part that we're saying goodbye. And as I met with the sisters and the other day, I wanted to make sure that we understand what we're saying goodbye to. Because very often this part of the service is complicated and difficult, and as I indicated to you earlier, I'm not a religious person. I define myself more spiritually. It's one of the areas I kind of part of past with the institution. And it came around this whole area of, I'm not a big fan of boxes and putting things into boxes. If you're comfortable with the word soul, the word spirit, that's words I would use here normally, but I like to talk about the you of Esther. What has come to an end is the Adam, the red earth, ashes to ashes and dust to dust. But the you of Esther, all that she is, all that she was, and all that she will ever be, is bigger and brighter. And we sat around and we were sharing stories about what will that look like? And I said to the sisters, I said, will it be, she'll come in a sense of the wind? Will it be a sense of, maybe you'll have a sense of her presence being right close beside you? Or maybe will you actually have a visitation? So if you get one of those, please call me and still do. They will open all of that. And if you are today, I want to remind you that what we're simply saying goodbye to today is that part of her. As we said, we're getting older, right? As the parts of us begins to deteriorate, and then it winds down, and it comes to an end. But there's another part of us that is bigger and beautiful and lives forever. And so today we gather here to lie to rest Esther's body, knowing that we commit to the earth only that which is of the earth. Our bodies are made of the dust of the ground, and to the dust of the ground we will return. But we are more than dust, for when the Creator breathed into a person's nostrils the breath of life, that person became a living being. The Creator breathed the Spirit into these temporary bodies, and that is what lives on today. These bodies serve only as temporary dwelling places for restless spirits. Esther has laid aside her temporary house. It was made of this earth, and to the earth it shall return. But her spirit lives on with eternal life. And now her spirit is in the hands of the same loving Creator who tenderly cared for her in life. And we have the promise that one day death will be no more, and how we long for that day to come. Until then, may we live in anticipation when we too shall lay aside the cares of this life as Esther has, and take up the joys of eternal life. However, our hearts are heavy. We still want to cling to her body, but it is now time for us to lay it aside for just a garment that needs to be set apart. It's altogether fitting and proper that we just now turned over to the Creator who designed it for His will to be accomplished. We therefore commit Esther's body to the ground and her soul to the Creator, earth to earth, and dust to dust, until such time as we all will join her. I would invite you to please rise. And praying together the prayer that the Lord taught His disciples, we boldly pray. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. May the love of God Almighty, the grace of the Lord Jesus Christ, and the peace of the Holy Spirit be with you this day. And may you go in the midst of the storm. May you go in love and in peace. Amen. Jack and Helen would like to invite everyone to their home at 1004 Mile Lake Road for refreshments, which is going to follow the reception. So there will be a reception to my left, to your right, and you're invited to be part of that at this time. Thank you very much.
Don't get sit down, relax.